Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Well, let's go big. Today, I want to talk about something so small you might miss it, but so powerful it can transform your entire life. What I'm talking about is a single letter. You know, a leader I admire once was asked what was the secret to his success. And he smiled, he looked out at the audience, and he said, the letter E. Now, the interviewer looked confused, as was most of the people in the audience. But then he told his story. He said when he was a teenager, his buddies were outside honking their horns, yelling for him to come out and play basketball. Excuse me, he's a basketball. And he shouted back, I can't. I got to take out the trash. And from inside the house, his mother yelled, Stephen, you get to take out the trash. And she went on. She said, millions of people around the world would trade places with you in a heartbeat. You get to carry out the trash to a curb. A big truck comes up, picks it up, loads it off, and takes it someplace where they bury it or burn it. You never have to smell it, walk on it, deal with it. And there's many millions of people that have to deal with that every day. So you don't got to take out the trash, Stephen. You get to. And then she said something that he said rewired him forever. She said, Stephen, every time you hear yourself say, I got to, stop and ask, do I actually get to? Now that's interesting. The day after I heard this, I was driving in a traffic jam and I was stuck on the freeway. And I said, why do I got to sit here? And I said, wait a second, change that O to an E. I get to sit here. How many millions of people would trade places for me right now in this moment, sit in this car on this freeway to be able to go to this job? And it's an interesting switch, what happens just by remembering that. Coach John Wooden said, one of his great quotes, things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out. Things turn out best for the people who make the best of the way things turn out. And isn't that true? And that's the get to, not the got to. It's the get to mindset. It's gratitude in motion. Let me give you another example of another one letter shift. Okay. And this, Chris Doty, one of our members in the river, brought it to our attention at our last convergence. Bitter versus better. Change that I to an E, one shift. Bitter versus better. Better isn't always about pretending everything is okay. It's about choosing the mindset that leads us forward. It's like Maya Angelou said, if you can't change it, change your attitude. Bitter, better. One letter, one shift, one ripple. And that's why we do everything. We don't say we're grateful for, we say we're grateful in. We begin in gratitude, go big. Gratitude helps us see where the shift needs to happen from got to get, from bitter to better, from arrows in, all about me, to arrows out. And so the question for us right now, I think, is to this week's empowering question. Let's ask ourselves once each day, at least once each day. Ask yourself, what tiny shift can I make to turn a next moment into a got to versus a get to, where I can turn a got to into a get to, or turn a bitter to better? I think if you just ask it once a day, deposit it here, you let your mind work on it, and then watch how that one letter can shape your entire week. Viktor Frankl said, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. And that one letter, I'd change that sentence. I would change that sentence. I would replace one word in his quote. When we are no longer able to change the situation, we are challenged to improve ourselves. Different isn't always better, but better is always different. So let's look for that small place this week. Let's have a meaningful week. I look forward to talking to you next week. Let's make this week even better because we get to do the things we're going to do. Talk to you next week. Bye bye.